Hey friends, Shadylikeatree here, and welcome into Reminiscing with Shady, episode 74. This is Major League Baseball featuring Ken Griffey Jr. for the Nintendo 64. It was developed by Angel Studios, published by Nintendo as always, and it was developed on and for the Nintendo 64 with a release date of May 31st, 1998. So this is one of those games where I never played it by myself, and I was never, ever good at this game. I'm still not good at this game, and I think part of that has to do with the newer games and how they kind of handle and all the things that they do. But this game was just extremely difficult for me to play, and I've tried to play this with friends in the Home Run Derby, and I never did exceptionally well. As you can see here, I'm having some issues controlling it. That's due to the Nintendo 64 controller, which I talked about how difficult it is to kind of use it present day when it comes to modern analog controllers and having to deal with these old school controllers. And looky there, I gave up a grand slam. Look at me. I am a good guy. You're welcome, computer. This was a game that was always really frustrating to me. I never did exceptionally well with it. I never had the best of times, I would say. This is one of those games where I had it at a friend's house, and it was like I was determined to, do well in this game because I was an avid proponent of VR baseball, virtual reality baseball, which came out, around the same time, was kind of the main competitor to this game, even though I had it on PlayStation. But I was always in this argument with my one friend who said, well, this game has Ken Griffey Jr. on it, and therefore it's better because, he's the best hitter in baseball. And, I had to defend VR as a more realistic game, and this is more of an arcadey style ball game, as we give up 4 runs in the first, and I hate when I do that. This game features, some of my favorite Reds. Deion Sanders is here playing center, the NFL player. Barry Larkin's on the team. Chris Steins is also here. We got Eddie Talbinzy, who's probably my favorite Reds catcher of the 90s. A lot of guys that I grew up watching play the game because, being a young Reds fan like I was, I got to see these guys play, and these were kind of like my baseball heroes because, they were so much older than me, and they were so good at this game, and I was just always amazed at them. But I'm gonna strike out quite a bit. I'm gonna not make a lot of contact, which is the norm. This is, I think, a very reminiscent gameplay of how I played when I was, 9, 10, 11 years old when we had this game. I've talked about how I never owned an N64, but I had a lot of friends who had them, and I had a lot of friends who were baseball fans, and they had this game, and I would just get trounced. I mean, I like to think that I'm pretty good at video games when it comes to people locally. I'm not in any way, shape, or form a professional gamer on any level with any game, but I like to think I'm a little bit better than the average casual player. And wow, I got a base hit. But I just for some reason, this game, I can never win this game on any difficulty. I'm just bad. And I think it has a lot to do with the fact that I can't time it and move my swing and get it close enough to make contact. And I think a lot of it too is just that I'm just not a good baseball player in real life. And to me, what's amazing is that little kids with the controller they had and the technology they had at the time could actually do this, because I totally am missing and having all sorts of struggle bus issues, and it's just no bueno. And I thought he was going to be safe right there, but he's not, which is good. But yeah, I'm only going to do 2 innings for you guys here because, baseball games can be kind of long, especially when you're doing all this sort of stuff. But I did want to show this game off just because of its kind of frustration importance. This is one of the first games I've ever rage quit. Like it's just incredibly not fun to play this game when I was a kid. But all my friends had it, and I had to protect the honor that was VR baseball and try to win at this game, although I never could. But anytime we would play virtual reality baseball, and as soon as I find a new copy of that, because my copy is scratched up to all heck and won't play, I will bring that video or that game to you guys. It's an interesting, and then right there I had no idea he was stealing until it was way too late. But yeah, so I had to defend my VR baseball honor, and that game to me was a lot of fun. But we'll talk about more than that once I find a copy in that Reminiscing with Shady. One of the things that I did want to note is that Ken Griffey Jr. actually had a hand in this game. I was looking at the Wikipedia earlier today, well actually last night technically. And he created the soundtrack himself. There's 700 full players, full rosters in this game. Griffey had some commentary in this as well. There's the two different batting styles, which I didn't bust out the other one because I wanted to show you how bad I was. And right here, for some reason, I'm trying to get Eddie to throw it, and he's not throwing it, which made no sense to me. And I couldn't figure out why he was doing that. I did want to note that this game was a player's choice game. It sold quite a few copies. I think it sold more than 1 million, if I remember correctly. But it was scored kind of mediocrely. But it did have a lot of people that bought the game. A lot of people like this game still. I actually haven't found any info on this, but I've heard that there's like a kind of underground tournament in this game, and its predecessor and its sequel, or whatever, the game after this one, the next title in the franchise, I should say. There's an underground kind of tournament movement, what have you, of people who play this game on the regular and are very good at this game. I am not one of those people, as evidenced by this gameplay. A lot of strikeouts, not very many hits. You know kind of how it goes, and I'm just bad at this game on all levels. But yeah, I hope you guys have certainly had a fun time with this game. This is just frustrating to watch me play this. I played this a couple days ago and recorded this a couple days ago, and it's just frustrating to watch. Like, I'm not even close to hitting the ball on a lot of these. But wow, as I say, I'm not even close to hitting the ball. I get another hit. I totally forgot I had 2 hits. Almost thrown out at first base, but luckily I made it. But I'm just speechless at the amount of frustration. I'm trying to think of a good story I could share with you. When I think I was like 10 years old, and I was playing this at my friend Corey's house. He hit like, I don't know, 5 or 6 home runs in a row in the home run derby, and I hit like 1, and he kept giving me so much crap over it. He gave me crap over it for like a week, and it was really frustrating because I didn't actually own the console or the system, as I've said, and I couldn't like practice, and so he would just constantly just trounce me, and I for some reason stubbornly thought that at some point it would click, but it never really did. So I just kept losing a lot. But yeah, I hope you guys have enjoyed this episode of Reminiscing with Shady. I wish that my gameplay would be a little bit more impressive, but you guys can root for the Diamondbacks if you want. I understand. So take it easy, guys. I will see you next week for episode 75, which is a special episode. This has been Reminiscing with Shady, episode 74, Major League Baseball featuring Ken Griffey Jr.